Welcome everybody to the Omniverse OpenUSD Insiders live stream. I am I can't even hide my excitement. The last time my co-host was on, I didn't even have gray hair at that point. That's how long ago it was. It's been a while, and I already see some great fans watching in the audience. I see Tom, and I see Jan, and I see Lychee AI. So this is going to be an awesome live stream. It's so awesome, actually. I don't even want to cover the news in the beginning. I'm going to cover most of the news at the end. So if you want to find out some of the latest news, hang out to the end. There's only one piece I want to go over before we talk about today, and that is NVIDIA's GTC DC. That's right, you heard that. We are coming to DC for the first time. This is incredibly exciting because Jensen will be presenting his first keynote in Washington, DC. That will be broadcast virtually around the globe to everybody, so you don't need to be there to watch this part. Use that QR code on the screen to find out more details. We just posted all the sessions on there so you can start planning your work. Amelia has already set up our WhatsApp group for people who plan to come to Washington, D.C. In other words, you can come and start talking with us and we can help you plan. We're going to do some coffee meetups. There's definitely going to be some nice community stuff happening. A bunch of you already reached out and said you're coming. I'm so excited. I will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you can make it, if you're on the East Coast or a little further, you want to make the trip, I highly encourage you to make time for GTC DC. The next GTC after that will be in San Jose, California in March, which was just announced a few days ago also. So this is coming up in October. I hope all of you can make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's get on with the real meat of today, which is exciting because, like I said, Ashley, you are absolutely such a big pull for these live streams. You have such a great history. Ashley, for people who are watching new, who are not old veterans of the live stream, Ashley was the one who really helped kick things off in a lot of ways, especially with her Learn With Me series, which is still used today by lots of people to learn in different companies. So very honored to have her with us. Today, we're actually going to be covering CAD. And for those who don't know, that's computer-aided design. It's software engineers and designers and architects use to create precise drawings and 3D models of everything from cars to airplanes to factories and products. So Ashley's going to walk us through how to take CAD data into OpenUSD with NVIDIA Omniverse, making it available for real-time rendering and simulation and collaboration, of course. You're going to learn how connectors and Kit and Python scripting streamline CAD workflows. So this is going to be very valuable to anyone who works with CAD. Is that about right, Ashley?
Yeah, that's on the note. I actually don't need to do my presentation anymore. I can probably just log right off.
Now let's cover the news. Now, so really exciting. So Ashley, before you get started, I'm going to kind of hang out in the background for most of this live stream because you are the true expert here. Why don't you tell everybody who doesn't know about your role here, kind of what you're focused on and why you're doing this today?
Yeah, so I'm lead tech marketing engineer for Omniverse. I've been at NVIDIA for, I can't believe it, all 3.5 years now. When I first got started, I was a developer advocate and I wanted to learn Omniverse and Python really quick. So I started the Learn With Me series and I used to live stream every Monday and Wednesday and literally would learn with the community how to use these applications, how to use the SDK, how to integrate our work stream into OpenUSD. We did a lot of failing, but as my favorite professor would say in college, strive to fail is the best way to learn. And that soon spun up into me moving into tech marketing, where now me and my team demonstrate the value of Omniverse, Omniverse Kit, Omniverse SDK for virtual factory, for robotics, for AI workflows. So I've been a little bit more behind the scenes lately, and that's why I haven't done so much of the live streams, but I'm really excited to be back and see all of our old timers in the comments and newbies as well. I see a lot of you at SIGGRAPH. I see a lot of you at GTC. I love when you guys come up to me and say, I still watch your Learn With Me's. Those feel like they happened so long ago, and it's like amazing that people still use them and that they're so valuable.
Look at all these comments coming in. All your fans are here. And there's Scott Dempsey, Omniverse Ambassador. And he's absolutely correct. The OG. Very cool. And there's Tom Bonabot. He's got two nicknames. So let's call him Dylan. His real nickname is Dylan. So I'm sorry to out you here, but he actually has a great Omniverse chatbot he just released. We'll post a link on that in a little while. But it's so great to have you all here. All right. So I know, Ashley, you've got some cool stuff prepared on your screen. Let me know when you're ready for me to share, or you want to share yourself.
Let me move my face out of the way.
And while she's doing that, absolutely, this is a live stream. As always, welcome your comments, your questions. Just post them in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can. Again, this live stream is going to be especially available for anyone working with CAD. Whether you're experienced Omniverse developer or you're just exploring OpenUSD, I think you're going to come away with some practical techniques to really accelerate your work. So you can take it away.
All right, so I tried to be a little creative and do my entire presentation in Omniverse and not use boring slides. So bear with me. I created this little plane. I'm going to move to my top perspective, and I'm going to use this as my background. So as Edmar said, we are talking about CAD today. CAD is computer-aided design, and those assets are vital for engineering and manufacturing, but unfortunately, they're not so great for simulation-heavy applications. And really, the reason why we're here today is to talk about why do we want to use USD for our CAD software or for our CAD simulation, or using CAD assets for simulation, actually. And the reason we want to use OpenUSD is because we can use the robust layering system, we can add custom data, and we can also use Python scripts. And that makes for really ease of use for interoperability with our data. Unfortunately, there's not always a push button solution when using OpenUSD, and that's because there's so many work streams that do use the OpenUSD framework. But fortunately, the good news is there's built-in schemas for OpenUSD. And these schemas, they function kind of like standardized blueprints. We have USD physics and USD semantics, and these introduce support for rigid bodies and semantic labeling, creating a common language that allows applications to read the data and understand its intent. And this is an extensible framework that enables developers to incorporate new or unmapped data models for their CAD assets. We can also create custom integrations to link our CAD parts to our PLM systems, which enrich the model in ways that the original data alone cannot. And OpenUSD is also very good at large scenes. So with assembling our large intricate scenes, we can optimize our CAD assets using OpenUSD, and then teams can work to separate the different components and make our teams happy so they're not overwriting each other's work, and aggregate them into different references and payloads. And it also allows our data to not be duplicated and allows us to update and propagate smoothly through that pipeline. And this is because OpenUSD is a non-destructive layering system. So it enables workflows and we don't overwrite each other's work. How was that? Did we enjoy the Omniverse?
I can't believe you did that. I didn't even know that was possible.
I'm using the Omni UI stuff. It's really fun. You can actually turn this also into a window frame. So you could view it this. Just some little tips.
Great. I think you've opened the door to a whole new set of presentations internally as well.
It honestly, I was inspired by, remember the early days of the pandemic when people were finding new ways to have team collaboration outside of like Teams and Zooms? People were like going to Red Dead Redemption and like having meetings in virtual reality. So I was like, how can I make this presentation a little bit more unique? So there you go.
Awesome. You've done it. Mission accomplished.
So let's go ahead and remove this viewport frame, oops, this one here, and move into talking about our actual CAD asset. I'm going to be using OnShape for this workflow for a few different reasons. It's easy to use. I'm more familiar with it. Also, we have a tech blog called CAD to USD Workflows, Building CAD to USD Workflows. And we use OnShape as well. So I wanted to keep it consistent. So if anybody watching wants to go check out the tech blog and see the workflow written out, then they can just kind of follow along using OnShape as well. So OnShape's free, easy to get an account, easy to use. Now, I'm using a public model of the Nova Carter. This is also something you can find just in the public registry on OnShape. And OnShape makes this very easy to export into a variety of different ways. And most importantly, we're going to be using another open source standard called JT. And this is a regular ISO standard that's used on a lot of 3D viz. So a lot of people are probably familiar with this format, and it makes it easy to convert it over to OpenUSD as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight all the different parts of my model. And I just right click in this portion of the UI and click export. And I really don't need to check any of the boxes or change anything. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it as is. I can do export models with the y-axis up to match the way that Omniverse imports, but it doesn't matter. You could also change your stage to be Z up if you wanted to. So I'm just going to keep it as is. I've already exported it previously, so I'm just going to click cancel, but I would export it, and then it'll end up in my downloads folder as a JT file, as you can see here. Click cancel, and then I'm going to go right back into Omniverse, like super easy. Go find that asset in my content browser. And there's actually two ways you can do this as long as you have this extension enabled. If you're not familiar with Omniverse and you're kind of new to this workflow, extensions are, you can kind of imagine them as like a plugin, but extensions are the way that we build our Omniverse applications, and they're the building blocks for Omniverse. So everything you see here in my window is an extension, and extensions just allow you to have a new feature within your Omniverse application so you can customize your experience to your specific workflow. But we do have some core extensions that are already built in, and as long as you enable them, you can use them. Easiest way to enable an extension is to just build it as a dependency in your Kit file. So I'm using Kit app template 108. That is the latest on the GitHub repository for Kit app template. Really easy to just build out a different template, Kit base editor, USD Composer, USD Explorer, whatever you want. I just built with USD Composer because it comes with a lot of dependencies that I use frequently. And one of them that I keep in my dependencies is the Omni Services Convert CAD. And this enables a few different CAD extensions, one of them being the JT conversion. So you can run this using some code, which we have in that tech blog. So if we go back to the tech blog, I just wanted to share that. You can just run this kind of script. Of course, just change where your file is located. But for me, I find it really easy to just use the GUI. I can right click on my JT file and I can click convert to USD. And I see this enabled because of my extension. If you don't have the extension enabled, then you're not going to see this in your GUI. So if that's your first piece of troubleshooting, is just to make sure that dependency is on. You can even check it out here in your extensions folder. I don't want to do too much in Omniverse because I don't want it to die, but
it happens.
I think I killed it. Hold on.
That's okay. We got
I didn't kill it.
Amelia has pasted the blog in the chat, so if anyone following along, you can click on that link.
Yeah, perfect. So this is the extension manager. This is enabled when you launch your Omniverse application. And if you just type in like CAD or convert, then you'll see I have this service already enabled. So that's why I see that in my GUI. So my computer hates when I'm sharing my screen and working in Omniverse. Too many resources being fought for. Okay, so I've done this ahead of time, but when I convert it, it literally just translates it into a USD, and I can open up that USD file. There you go, my beautiful Nova Carter with all of its default materials that came over from that conversion. And we can even check that everything is converted with the things that we would find in our CAD file. So let's open up our OnShape file. So I have my stage. My stage has all of my meshes. And the similarities are that you can actually like see the one-to-one conversion. So if I go started from all the way to the top, I'm looking for my mounting plate right there, for my upper lid right there, you know, so on and so forth, rear scanner, front scanner. So there's a lot of things that get converted like one-to-one. A difference, though, would be the namespace. And this is just because of the way that the conversion software was written. And this was created using the OpenUSD Exchange SDK. So this SDK enabled our developers to write this extension to convert the CAD files from JT to OpenUSD. So if you have something a little bit more custom that you need to do for your workflow, you can use this Exchange SDK and write your own. But the way that our developers wrote it, it does have some best practices for namespace, which is to add the TN in front of it. And this just helps developers understand which were automatically created from the file and then which were custom to the transcoder. And then you'll also see some strings added to the end of our assets. And this is also just the way that the transcoder works with OpenUSD based on how we've written it.
Very cool. Do you want to pause and take a couple quick questions that might be related right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one, Vinay is asking from LinkedIn, can you convert Rivet files using this extension? Do you know?
That's a great question. I'd have to look into that. I would imagine that Rivet files are proprietary to their software.
So what we could do, we could start a thread on this in our Discord under the live stream section.
Yeah.
We'll start a thread specifically on this live stream, and we'll try to get back to you there, Vinay, or feel free to post that question there too. That's a great question, though. And our great fan and community member, Jan, is asking, Ashley, can you explain the prototypes and the linked asset in a nutshell?
Prototypes and the linked asset.
Do I need more clarification on that one?
Yeah, I can't explain the asset too much because this is just a public model that I got off OnShape. I honestly have no idea anything about the Nova Carter. It was just something that existed on OnShape as like in a public asset. And then if you had, Jan, if you have more context in what you mean by prototypes, I can answer that question a little bit better.
Okay, cool. Feel free to add to that, Jan, and we'll get back to that. Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah, I just like the Nova Carta because it's really cool looking.
It is cool.
And it looks like the little robots that deliver food in Los Angeles. But I know it's not that.
Did you see the one where a car ran into one and the robot was like had a little crying sound on it?
That's so funny. I have a friend that lives in LA and like posts stories on Instagram about them getting stuck, and like they'll have like a sad face on them that says like help, and you have to like help them out of a little pothole or something.
That's great though.
I love when robots are cute.
Okay, he's talking about the prototypes at the top of the stage tree.
Oh, here. So these are the actual assets themselves where they're not instanced. So this is actually a good section to transition to. Is you see these little like orange icons here? That means it's an instance of the mesh, which instances make our file sizes smaller. Prototypes, this is the way, again, the transcoder is written. And honestly, I'm not quite sure what the benefits of keeping these are. It's a great question. Let's double click on that a little bit later.
Here, Jan is adding that it holds the geometry and the actual geometry. One is seeing as instanced. You're answering it as I ask. Okay,
yeah, one is instance, exactly.
Let me see. Actually, I noticed you had a pop-up from Outlook. Do you want me to hide your screen for a minute and you want to close Outlook? And
yeah, I thought I had it closed. Yeah, thank you.
I just took your screen away for a second, just to be on the safe side of things. But great questions, everybody. On comments coming in. Definitely keep them coming. We've got Ashley more than half hour here left, so plenty of time. And Ashley, let me know when you're good to share.
Okay, I'm going through everything and making sure they're all quit.
And I got a good question here from Rushab. Hey, when you plan on having more sessions? Of course, there's lots of sessions. Go to our ad event calendar. We're posting in there. And if you have a specific suggestion like you do here, that's a great place to post on our live stream channel on Discord. And Amelia works very hard with our project managers and our team here to kind of prioritize topics that are requested from viewers like you. So absolutely.
All right, I think I'm good. I'm a popular person, so hopefully no more pop-ups.
Here we go.
Okay, so what we were talking about, instancing, making our file size smaller. So that's what you see is these little orange icons. Using instances and payloads allow us to load and unload our assets as we need them and keep our file sizes small, especially when we have multiples of the same part. So if we have like 30 of the same bolt, we can just instance one portion of the mesh rather than have 30 duplicate meshes in our scene. So you can actually see my file size is only 2.31 megabytes, quite small for how heavy duty our asset is.
It's crazy.
Yes. All right. So really the next step is just to optimize our scene. And there's a few different ways you can do this. It's going to be like proprietary to your use case and how much optimizing you need to have. But why we want to optimize is because CAD meshes especially are very dense and they have, millions of polygons, millions of triangles, and they can be quite heavy to use in real-time simulation. So we'll use the core technology built into Omniverse, and that's called Scene Optimizer. If you go back to that tech blog, there is actually a really great code snippet that you can use. I might as well show it. We can scroll down. And in this section, it talks about the scene optimizer and actually using it in Python. And there's a few different options for scene optimizer. I'll pull up the GUI and you can see like all of the options. But the three that we talk about in the tech blog are to merge meshes, to hide hidden meshes, and to reduce tessellation. So those are like the three most common, especially with CAD, because there's so many internal parts to our CAD assets that aren't going to be seen, and but they still use GPU resources in simulation. So if we hide them, then we're not using those resources. They're not being seen, so we don't need to have them visible. So let's just go into our Scene Optimizer, which is in Windows and Utility, so that I can show you all of the different options if you don't want to just use your Python script. There are some presets you can use, which, you allow you to deduplicate materials and meshes, to merge looks. You can also find the different ones when you click Add Scene Optimizer. And just to make this easy, I'm just going to go to load preset and we're going to merge meshes. And in this preset, we have, delete the hidden prims. We have merge static meshes. So exactly what we've talked about, even the option to move materials. So they're all nested in the same folder, and optimize our materials so that we don't have 30 brass metallic meshes in the scene, and there's only one that the prims share that material. So for the sake of time, let's go ahead and execute all of this. And you saw that my asset changed and it removed all of the materials. And then a lot of the meshes are now deduplicated or merged. And you can actually see this in the report. So in the report, it de-instanced 109 prims, running de-instance on 109 prims, and de-instanced 63 of them, and removed 138 unused duplicate materials. That is great for our scene. Pruning leaves, it deleted 2 of our leaves, and all of the other great things that this preset had organized in their processes. So let me go ahead and just exit out of that. We can go look at our merged geometry, and now it's like one giant mesh. And that's not always going to be valuable for everyone's use case, because you may need to have specific materials on different parts of the meshes, or you may just want one giant mesh. So there's that as well. Let's go ahead and add some materials, which, since I have one giant mesh, it'll just be one giant material. I just want to show off all the different options. And one of those are the materials library. Before I move on to materials, though, Edmar, are there any questions that I can answer from?
Well, you know, I got this one great commenter here. You might recognize his name. Maddie Codes is watching.
Wow, Maddie.
He's also the OG.
Like super OG.
I know.
Yeah, Maddie did the office hours for a really long time.
Yeah, totally. And I'll post a link in the chat, but Maddie was just sharing a lot of great news on OpenUSD. I'll post the link. Obviously, we've been talking about the learning path of OpenUSD. So if you want to dive into OpenUSD further, I highly encourage the OpenUSD learning path with free self-paced courses. There's also a certification now that's online you can take and get a badge. So really exciting stuff. And if you are going to GTC DC, I believe there'll be certifications there as well on site. And usually those are free if you come on site for it. So anyway, lots of good people watching still. Let me see. Here's a good question from Tom, aka Dylan. Does the scene optimizer affect the mass of the asset?
I don't have rigid bodies added to this, so no, not in this instance, because I just don't have any of the rigid bodies set to it. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Now, if you were to go to the scene optimizer, I don't believe there is a function in this that allows you to alter the mass. So if you have a rigid body added to it, I don't believe it would affect it, but you add rigid bodies later in your workflow. Optimizing should come first so that you don't mess with things like that, because that can mess up your simulation later on.
Oh, here's a good reply right there. I know this guy too. Look at it.
Yes, it will not affect mass unless it changes volume. Thanks, Richard.
Awesome, Rich.
These are some great questions.
Is there someone overview of all the live stream events coming up? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put that on the screen, but yes, that's add events. So we'll post that in the chat. I'm
going to call this out because I made a mistake. I'm moving too quickly. Can anyone tell me the mistake I made? Pulling out my teacherness here.
Learn with me days.
It's an OpenUSD workflow mistake. What did I do? Can anyone tell me?
I wish I had a sound effect of like a, one of those.
Yeah, exactly. I will give you a hint. It has to do with the master geometry. I'm going to check the comment.
They're thinking. While they're thinking, we've got a question here. How does the scene optimizer work with components of different physics materials? Is that considered when the mesh is combined, or is it geometry based only? Do you know that one?
I don't know that one specifically.
Okay, so if someone else watching knows the answer to that, aka Richard or somebody else like that, feel free to chime in the chat. We'll put it on the screen. Good question.
Yeah, I love to see that there's so much interest in like tools that we have or core functionalities here we have in Omniverse. I wasn't.
All right, here we got to guess. We got to guess here. Pivot.
Pivot. No, not pivot.
We all need that sound effect.
Yeah, it's okay. One of the big things about using Omniverse and OpenUSD specifically is that when you have a master geometry, you don't want to affect that geometry, right, when you're using this in other scenes. So really what the ideal thing to do before you start optimizing is to make a new USD file and then pull in your master geometry so that when you're making changes to this, you're not affecting the master, and you can always come back and use the master to like revert back or use it in other scenes. So I'm not going to save this file. I'm actually just going to create a new USD, not save. And let's call this one, we'll save as, we'll call this like Nova opt for optimizing. And then we'll just pull in our Nova asset here. There you go. And so now when I make edits to this one, I will not be altering the master geometry. So now I can run the scene optimizer on this. Okay. Let's do a different preset just for fun. Let's do deduplicate materials and meshes and execute it and go to report 2. It removed 69 unused materials.
Nice.
This is
Here's a comment for your friends there.
Oh, my dog. I'm sorry. Can you hear her? Give me 1 second.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not. It's very minimal and it's cute.
Thank you. My son is being very kind and letting them out of the room. I locked them all in the room because I thought they'd be happy with me here in the room, but my son comes home and he's way more important than me, so they prefer him. Okay, so all right, I have my scene here. I have a reference of my master geometry. That is the blue arrow. It's a reference, and I'm not making changes to the actual Nova Carter. So if I was to reopen this Nova Carter full USD from the conversion, it is not an optimized mesh, and I'm not going to be editing any of the materials when I do start editing materials. And to keep on that workflow, of course, I'd also want to have like a new layer. So better yet, like delete this, bring the Nova Carter in as a new layer. Okay, it's much larger because my metrics are off with measurements. That's okay. We don't mind a giant robot. And then let's go ahead and add a new layer, and we'll call this Nova Mat for materials. And we're going to switch to this being the authoring layer. And we want to make sure when we're working in our layering systems that we're abiding by our liver P rules. So liver Ps is the strength ordering for OpenUSD, and that is layers, instances, variants, payloads. I think there's an E now, but I don't remember what the E is. So if Maddie's still here, maybe Maddie can tell you. R is references. S is sublayers. No, not sublayers. Okay, I can't remember. Someone will tell me. But there you go. You just want to make sure that you're following that liver P. So I have my mat USD as a higher layer than my Nova Carter, so that when I'm applying materials, this is going to be the stronger layer and it's going to be reflected down.
Here you go. Maddie just relocates.
That's why I get it. I can never remember it because it actually relocates, and that's where the E comes from.
Maddie, you're awesome.
Thank you, Maddie. Okay, so let's go ahead and now add our material. So materials is our material browser. This is built right in as an extension into Omniverse. So if you're using the USD Composer template, it's already enabled. If you're using Kit-based editor, you need to add it as a dependency. If you're building from the SDK, again, adding it as a dependency and enabling this in your extension manager allows you to see all of these really incredible high fidelity materials. We have like over 300 automotive, over 172 base materials, and then we have these V materials and huge library for you to pick from. So just for fun, I love just funky colors. So I'm gonna throw like a soft purple color as like the base, and as you can see, failed to bind. Fail to bind materials to the following params as they are instanced proxies. Oh, okay. So now I have some liver P problems, some strength ordering problems. Even though I'm working in the stronger layer, it does want to apply the material to an instanced proxy. So that is a nice troubleshooting thing to go through. And forgive me, I cannot remember how to fix that. So I have to do some troubleshooting. Probably easiest thing is to uninstance the thing. Not the best solution, because if you're wanting to work with instances, then you need to find the workaround, but I don't want to take up too much time. This is not a learn with me. Okay, so I have my mesh. I uninstance it so that I can see the material, and then I could just follow that similar workflow. So say I want to do this one and throw that on it here. What is this? You know, this worked yesterday. And of course, if I do anything live, I did not pray to the StreamYard, the live stream gods that I needed everything to flow smoothly today. So of course, it doesn't work like it did yesterday.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna uninstance everything. At least these parts, and throw my pretty material on it. Okay. So I can start throwing materials on, and I just have to be careful because I can also go back into the optimizing issues where if I keep throwing in this single material, like say I have this one and I want to like put it in the scene, and I just keep throwing them out from the materials browser, I'm actually going to get lots of duplication. See that? I have the pop purple multiple times. So you can run the scene optimizer again to just remove those duplicated materials, but you just need to be mindful that when you keep throwing things out, they do duplicate in the scene rather than copy from one that already exists. And you know, that is really it. The key portion to a CAD to USD workflow is converting it from a file format like JT, and in using Omniverse, we have that built-in extension, or you can build your own. When you are moving over from CAD to USD, you have similarities like the mesh names, but some of your differences are going to be the way that the transcoder is programmed, which is to add different namespaces and strings, which help identify the asset for your workflow. And then when you're working in heavy simulation is to optimize your meshes so you don't have millions of polygons, you don't have duplicated materials, you don't have hidden meshes that eat up GPU resources. And then you can use things inside of Omniverse that are built in, like the scene optimizer to do that. And you can also use materials browser. If you don't want to build your own custom materials, you can use something like that. So just different ways that you can work with your CAD files in USD using Omniverse and Omniverse applications.
Amazing. I mean, we had so many questions still coming in. Big thanks to Richard, actually, who's been answering some questions in the chat. I'm going to put one on the screen in case it helps anybody else. Naranjan asked, why is this important, deleting the asset and stage and adding out to layer? And Richard replied back, you do not have to use layers, but it can help organize your scene well. And if anyone here knows Richard, they know that he loves organized scenes. He's the master. So
yeah, it's really, it's like you don't have to use layers, of course, but it's when you're working with multiple different teams that layering has a big advantage. So you're not overwriting someone else's work, and it just allows you to work in your like design, engineering, and simulation teams more efficiently without losing the fidelity of someone else's workflow. But if you're just working by yourself, feel free not to use them.
Okay, so we've got almost over 20 questions, I think, that Amelia has kindly starred. Some of them we may not be able to answer, but we'll call that out, and then we'll ask everyone to head over to the Discord thread that Amelia will set up. We'll post that in the chat, and they can continue conversation there today, tomorrow, next week. That thread will live on for this live stream. Okay. So if anyone is tuning in, obviously we're talking about building CAD to USD workflows. Let's tackle this first one. How to add custom materials in USD. What's a file conversion process to get terrains with textures? Again, some of these questions may be a little deep. And I know we have a couple viewers, at least a couple from the NVIDIA team. So NVIDIA team, feel free to hop on and ask this. Or actually, you can hit me a message on Slack and I can send you an invite to come on the live stream right now. Okay, so we're gonna actually I'll let this stay for later.
Yeah, custom terrains are going to be a little bit different because it's also based on where you're pulling that in from. Is it an FBX? Is it OBJ? What kind of materials are you using? It can be a little bit more heavy than just like the simple right-clicking convert. It really depends. So it's a good question to double click on later.
Okay, cool. Here's a question from Scott Dempsey, aka Sirens, from earlier. This is from earlier in the live stream, so we have to bring our minds back a little bit. Do their Revolut joint transfer directly?
Ooh, beautiful question. All of you guys got me stumped. This is something, again, let's pull that in. That'd be a great for our robotics tech marketing engineers. They work directly with those type of joints more often and passing information back and forth from their CAD engineering softwares to USD. And so we've had Rashab and Asa on the office hours. That actually be a great question for one of our Isaac office hours. We could bring that in there.
Yes, and those are never too far away, actually. We usually host them every few weeks or so. So that add event calendar, we'll put it in the chat. We'll show our upcoming office hours, study groups, and live streams like this. Okay, so we'll try to go through some more of these. And again, if we can't answer your question right now, just do me a favor. If you're watching, put that question in the live stream thread from our Discord server, which Amelia will share in the chat. Okay, so this is from Jorge. Can you convert an NWD model of a factory to USD? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the NWD.
I'm not familiar with it either. The reason that we're using the JT file format from a CAD model is because it is that standard international standardization process, like file format. So when we wrote the converter, taking that into mind. So I can't say like 100% if we can. Best is just follow open standard practices. And if you can get your file format over into JT, it does make that easier. Or again, using the OpenUSD Exchange SDK to write your own converter for something to be more custom of your workflow.
Very cool. And here's another comment from Richard. I'll put it on the screen. We support a massive amount of file formats. Trains work well as FBX and OBJ with simple diffuse textures. Also, we have a viewer here from Kenya, which is great. Thanks, Aman, for watching. Great to have you here with us. Let me see what else we got here. Here's Richard just added also. We now support full open PBR Material X. Amazing. He knows the latest. Okay, in this tutorial, let me see. I don't think we're going to cover moving the robot, right? That's a.
Oh yeah. No, that's a
different show.
Yeah, this really is to highlight the importance of using OpenUSD for other file formats that a lot of manufacturing, robotics, AI workflows, virtual factory integration, they rely on CAD models and CAD engineers. And it's like, how do I get that information over into my OpenUSD application like Omniverse? And like that is a simplified workflow can really help with that transition. And so highlighting using the OpenUSD Exchange SDK to write something that is proprietary to your workflow or using what's already built in is really key. I want to get this to move though.
Well, here's a great question that I'm also very curious about. So I'll put this on the screen here. This is from Sergio coming from LinkedIn. Ashley, what is your favorite part about being a technical marketing engineer? Besides the fact that you get to work with me, of course, outside of that, what is your next favorite part?
Being in tech marketing is super cool because I really love seeing how we integrate our go-to-market strategies for Omniverse, for physical AI, and being able to care about how do people use these products, right? It's not so much of like, I'm selling you the product. It's so much more of, you want to use this and I want to make this easy for you to use it. How do the materials that my team create help you do that? Those are tech blogs. Those are things like these live streams, videos, all of the courses that we do at conferences and exist on our DLI that we make free for you to use. Like, we just want you to use it. And like, that feels so rewarding for me, is to just like meet people that are like, the work that you did helped me integrate for instance, our CAD models into OpenUSD, and it was really easy, and I was able to get my work done a little bit faster. Like, that just makes me feel better. If anybody doesn't know this, I actually come from a teaching background. I used to be a middle school art teacher, and so what's really rewarding for me is to just enable people to do what they want to do.
That is awesome. If you're just joining us, we are talking about CAD USD workflows. There, look at you. I'm confirmed working with Edmar.
Yeah.
Of course, we're totally joking. Rich, I got to thank you again. He's answering a lot of great questions in the chat. Someone's asking for this T-shirt right here. Come to GTC. You can get them there. If you really want one, make friends with me on LinkedIn, and I'll see if I can help you. Okay, so another good advice from Richard here. I feel like we should send Richard a link to jump on. Richard, if you're free right now, let me know, and I'll send you a link for the stream. Check out the brand new Real-Time 2.0 and Kit 107, 108, the quality of path tracing and the speed of real-time. Richard, for people who don't know, also is very active on our community Discord server, which is another reason for people to come on our Discord server, not only to meet all the other developers out there, including many of which who are in the audience right now, but also to engage with people like Ashley and Richard and many others from the team who go there in all the different channels. So
yeah,
if you don't know, go ahead.
Richard's also a tech marketing engineer, and you guys might know him as Richard 3D in Discord.
Yes,
and on
that's
the
right.
forums.
That's right. You've given him up. That's his nickname on just like everyone's got a nickname. What is Eric's is Strainflow. Eric Bowman is Strainflow on Discord and on live streams. So if you don't know where our Discord is, at this point in the live stream, marketing team is definitely not watching. They tune out after the first 5 minutes to make sure I did the news. So I can put this on the screen and feel comfortable in my job security because this graphic looks horrible. But this is the Discord address, NVIDIA Omniverse. It can't get any more straightforward than that. You just go to discord.gg/NVIDIA Omniverse, and you will be zoomed into our Discord server. First thing you should do, pick your roles so that you're notified when you have different announcements pertaining to that role, like Robotics or Isaac Sim. And also, please introduce yourself. That is so helpful, not just for us. It's actually for other people in the community, so they know what kind of work you do and when they can maybe hit you up on something. I've seen a lot of great people share their projects in the Share Your Work channel and the job board we have there also. So definitely leverage those. Okay, so let's see what else we got coming in. Let me see. And there you go. Tom or Dylan is saying, wow, what a cool, inspiring story from our teacher to NVIDIA Ninja. You are NVIDIA Ninja. That's a great, you should put that on your LinkedIn. Yeah, quite epic. All right, so here we go from Naran John. He's updating on the AI. You can use pre-built differential controller in Isaac Sim, tutorials in the Isaac Sim docs. Yeah, I would say always want to make sure you're leveraging the documentation first. The team, as Ashley has mentioned, has been working very hard on updating, and a lot of updating is based on feedback we get from viewers like you and developers who are finding gaps, or they need more or explanations in something, or just better ways to show examples. So absolutely, we take that feedback very seriously. So pass it on. We should do an annual survey, but you can pass that feedback anytime. Let me see. There's also an Isaac Sim Isaac Lab study group I'm being reminded of here in the chat. And yeah, potentially, if you have an Isaac Sim Isaac Lab question, we have a study group that meets on our Discord server that I just pasted on the screen a minute ago. That's going to be at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. I highly encourage anyone who's using Isaac Sim and Isaac Lab, jump in there. Any one of those study groups that happen on a Wednesday at that time. You will not only love the content, you'll love the people, you'll love the conversation, you'll love the stuff that's flashed on the screen. And here you go. This is the backyard for puppies. Yeah, you gotta get a puppy back there.
Yeah, my dogs would love this.
That is puppy heaven right there.
Good training ground for this Nova Carter. If I could get it to run. That's someone's homework. There you go. Bring it into Isaac Sim and get it to roll around.
And here you go. Jan is confirming. Bring up your Isaac Sim question or Isaac Lab question in the study group, and it will be discussed. And Scott Dempsey will be on there today too, which is great. He's an Omniverse ambassador. Fantastic. He actually responsible for some of the electricity that some of you might be getting right now, because he works on deep sea cable and he leverages Isaac Sim and robotics for the laying of undersea cables. He's asking, Scott's asking, is that a splat? Where'd you get this image from?
No, this is an environment. It's an HDRI.
I was going to say, that was a little too good.
No way. I wish. Here, we can change it. We'll do cliff top white. There's so much built into Omniverse. And if you go into the extension manager, you can see a lot of the sample extensions that exist. And some of those are quite fun to play around with and inspire you to what you can build in your own custom extensions too. Or this is fun.
I would definitely fool around. I think that some of the developers that I see that go the furthest are the ones that really fool around with everything and dig deep into what's there already. Because some people are really surprised about the assets that are included. So definitely take full advantage. All right, so we've got some more start questions. Ashley, I think you can see them, so I'm going to let you pick the ones that you think are the best fit, and then I'll be standing by here.
Okay, I forget. Okay, no, I found it. I have not been an admin in StreamYard for so long.
They changed the layout a little bit too.
Okay.
Well, Ashley's looking at that. I want to also share that there's for the GTC DC coming up, there's a nice discount code. I think it's 20%. So if you go to the main webpage for GTC DC, you'll see that there. Don't forget to use that. As far as I know, if there might be other discount codes available also for academic and otherwise. They're not stackable, so pick your discount wisely. But that is going to be a great way to come to GTC and lower your cost a little bit. There's also a golden ticket contest for developers. I'll grab the link and put that in the chat. But that is, if you're looking for free conference pass, there's some being given away. You just got to follow the rules of the contest. That is the golden ticket contest currently active for GTC DC. There's also a brilliant Isaac Sim, or I should say NVIDIA Isaac Hackathon being organized by Revel and Lychee AI. Amazing. I think it was well over 100 teams and 200 developers are participating in this contest. Over $6,000 in prizes. Registration's closed, but that doesn't mean you can't get in on the fun. We're going to be tracking all the projects as they develop. We'll post a link for Revel and Lychee AI's LinkedIn page where you can follow there. They're going to be sharing projects and updates on their pages and some more announcements on new judges. And I believe they plan on running these hackathons every couple of months or so. So it's a great way to watch what's going on in this one and then jump in the next one if you missed it.
All right, Did you find any nice questions? By Jan. I think this is a good one because it clears up some misunderstanding for what we're doing with our layering system. So if we're bringing this in as a reference, we're actually not touching the original CAD model, the underlying CAD model. So for one, it's been converted into a USD. I still have the CAD file, the JT file here. So I've saved this, and now if I go open the Nova Carter, as you can see, it is still exactly how it was when I converted it from the JT. It does not look like the one that I had in my Nova Opt USD. So I can make sure that I'm not actually touching this, and then just move into this one here. I have my Nova with my materials and my background, and then I can go into my mat USD file. And oops, I don't think I ever saved it. So I can go here and I can save my mat USD, and then I can go into my mat files. And so now I have so this is like referencing that it's in the other USD, but the data has been saved, has been written into the USD file. So there you go, back and forth, working in a non-destructive layer.
Nice.
There's lots of great questions. A lot of them are probably great questions to bring into the Isaac office hours, because they have to do more with like a proprietary workflow of robotic. It's like robotics to USD so much than just working in Omniverse in general.
By the way, I see, as we mentioned earlier, Dylan is on the chat, aka Tom. He actually made a really nice announcement. We've covered this a couple times in live streams, actually, because it's such a cool tool he made. But he made an Omniverse chatbot, leveraging the great documentation, and it's super helpful for developers. And it was currently available up until recently. It was only available for a few hours a day, but because of this this great hackathon happening, he's actually opened up 24/7 during the hackathon, and it's open to everybody, not just the hackathon registered developers. So basically, anyone watching this can take advantage. I'll post a link in the chat for his announcement on that. But I think that's pretty fantastic and awesome of you. So thanks for doing that. There you go. Yeah, the hackathon closed. The registration closed on Monday night. No need to cry, though. It's coming up in every couple months. It's going to be a new one. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this one. 100 teams, including some amazing schools. MIT was on there. It's one of the teams. It's going to be great. And I think they're going to have a couple categories, one for beginner stuff, one for more advanced. So it should be fun to watch. It's pretty open.
Yeah, I would love to extend this conversation onto Discord. So there's a lot of good conversation that's a little bit more specific to someone's like actual workflow. Like I see one about writing a custom transcoder. Oh, look, it's Richard.
Richard just zoomed in from Warp. I don't know.
Well, I feel bad about gate crashing, but
no, never feel bad. Do you see something you want to cover? What's on your mind? What's burning? What's a burning question you saw that you want to try to explain here?
Well, like I said, I mean, there's been some great new things in the materials world. Say Omni PBR is a big one. Material X is part of that, and the real-time 2 thing is really cool. So it bridges the gap between a lot, real-time and path tracing. So a lot of times in the rendering world of quality, people like the quality of path tracing, but it's a little slower. And they love the speed of real time, but it's not being quite as good. And our engineers have pulled another black magic trick and combined the best of both into real time too. And now you get the speed of real time with the quality of path tracing for things like more advanced reflections and refractions, which was always one of its weaknesses. And if you're running 106.5, you can turn it on in the options, and 107, but in 108 it's on by default. So I think that's a very big thing in the rendering world and the quality world and STG world. And then Material X and any other questions going around.
Very cool. So glad to have you here, Richard. Maddie's explaining that OSS stands for open source software. I think someone earlier asked a question on that in the chat. I see a question here. Let me see. Possible to add, this is from MK, possible to add custom collider mesh for a high poly mesh through code. You guys know that?
Yeah, you can add a custom collider to your mesh through code. That's easy to do in Omniverse. I would recommend not using a high poly mesh in larger scenes. So that's part of the scene optimizing conversation. But yeah, you can definitely add that. I also, before we log off here, I wanted to call this out as well, because as I'm looking through a lot of the questions, a lot of them have to do with OpenUSD fundamentally. And going through these courses, we have our foundation courses and our applied concept courses. These are on the Learn OpenUSD learning path. They're all 100% free, and they are about OpenUSD specifically. Those will help you when you're working with OpenUSD in any kind of platform, not just Omniverse, but Omniverse especially is an OpenUSD platform, so it uses that language. Going through this will answer a lot of those questions that people are having about the fundamentals for OpenUSD.
That's so great. Such a great call out. Yeah, it's really, and if you are a German speaker, Michael Wagner just shared that he's doing these OpenUSD study groups every Friday, I think, in German. So you can study with one of the best out there.
Wow.
Michael Wagner worked closely with BMW and NVIDIA on their digital twin factory work. He's also got an amazing company called SyncTwin. In addition, works with Epolog AI. I think Jan knows him well. Anyway, so that's another great resource. If you happen to speak German and you want to be part of that OpenUSD study group, look on my LinkedIn feed. You'll see it there. If you can't find it, just go to edmar.net. It'll bring you right to my LinkedIn page. The other good resource is the OpenUSD study group we have that's just on our Discord server, and that's led by Nandu Valal, another Omniverse ambassador. So great resources if you want to kind of have a more group experience with learning about OpenUSD. But you could always go at it alone with these self-paced courses that Ashley's showing on the screen. And then if you do these courses as study groups, I highly recommend you take the exam, get that certification. I think it's a great way to differentiate yourself from other developers, and you can put it on your LinkedIn page. OpenUSD is, as Rev often said, what HTML is to the web, OpenUSD is for simulation. So I would highly recommend that people get that certification and dive in. I will say, it's not an easy exam. You have to feel free to take it if you want without studying, but you really should take the courses. And I think you'll be much happier you did. We're just about out of time. I want to make sure we don't leave anything out, Ashley, that you wanted to make sure we squeezed in here.
Yeah, I'm seeing so many robotics engineers or questions specifically on this. And someone specifically said they're excited to learn more about robotics in NVIDIA Omniverse. And so second thing to call out is our learning path. Like our tech marketing team has been really busy creating these learning paths, again, all free. I can't stress that enough. And it's a beginner's guide to working with robots and physical AI and Isaac Sim. So if not just the CAD to OpenUSD is inspiring to you, but also just working with robotics and Isaac Sim in general, as we've talked about it so much, is you can go and take these courses and get yourself ramped up pretty quickly.
I love it. I just posted a link for that. Another great shout out. Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you don't know about these resources, man, they are here. They're free. We have brilliant people on our team that put these together and evolve them. Big thanks to people like Shane and Krista. A really fantastic job with their work on it, and many others also, obviously. I put that link in the chat. We also have a good resource that I'm just getting much more involved in engaging with the community on. That's a LinkedIn group on an NVIDIA Omniverse LinkedIn group that was started by someone from the community, and really, I just most recently has been starting to get more traction in terms of people joining. So I'll put that link there. That's the NVIDIA Omniverse LinkedIn group. Just apply to jump in. There's a few thousand people on it already, actually. I see some nice introductions, people sharing their stories here. Let me flash this one on the screen. I always like to highlight something from the community because I think there's just so many great things that are happening. And it's good to kind of share this. Let me make this a little bigger. There you go. This is from Lucas. Lucas did something pretty cool at his university in Germany. I think it's called the Technical University of Munich. He built this basically leveraging Isaac Sim as one of the tools, simulated training pipelines, basically worked on a model-free bin picking and commissioning. The video is wild. So I'm going to post a link. I'm going to post a link to this in the chat so you guys go check it out. but that video is really cool to see. Highly recommend you jumping in the NVIDIA Omniverse group at a minimum to see stories like this from Lucas that are sharing. And I bet you some of you out there are watching might even actually be part of a startup. If you are, did you know that NVIDIA has an amazing, also free program for startups called Inception? So for all you out there that are, and the definition of a startup for the Inception's purposes is pretty loose. Up to 10 years old. So you can be a few years old already and still be a candidate for Inception. So there's Inception is just amazing. You get free credits for different cloud resources, lots of other benefits, introductions to venture capitalists. I'll put that in the chat. It's definitely by and large a self-serve program, so you got to be your own advocate there. But there's lots of great tools, resources, and free stuff you can get. And of course, there's great opportunities for networking at different events like GTC, specifically for startups. Yeah, I think anyway. So I want to make sure I share that stuff with everybody. Ashley, my gosh, it's like no time has passed. Nothing has changed except for my hair. Like I said, nothing else has changed. You have dominated and taught and explored and inspired. Richard, you have also educated us on the latest. This has been fantastic. I think this is one of the most active chats we've had in the live stream. I think people were really missing you, Ashley. So I'm so glad you were able to carve out some time to come back.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of questions that I wasn't able to answer, and so many of them are great questions. I don't want to leave those behind. So let's double click on them in our Discord. Let me find you the answer to what you're doing, and we can bundle those up in an FAQ for other people that are having the same problems or the same things you're facing. So I'm on the Discord. It's Ashley G. Super easy to find me. Tag me. That's the quickest way for me to see on Discord. Sometimes Discord does not notify me when you just like reply to something I've done. So tag me directly and I will get back to you and help you find solutions.
And I'm going to paste a link to that thread that Amelia started. This will bring you right to the thread for today's live stream. So you can chat with the other people that have been watching. And that's a great way to kind of continue the conversation outside of, in addition to this hour. That's there. Just make sure that thread requires that you are a member of the Discord first. So if you haven't joined Discord, join Discord, Omniverse Discord, then go to this thread, it'll work. If you haven't joined, it's going to say, can't find it because you're not a member. Richard, you have this stare that I'm like, all right, he's got something on his mind or he's on.
No, I'm just wondering why I look like I'm wearing blue glasses today. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's a UV on your glasses, probably.
Yeah, it must be something crazy.
I like it. It's kind of cool.
I don't normally look like this, so
it's very
I'm not
on
normally
brand.
wearing blue glasses. I don't know what's going on.
It's on brand with Ashley's little robot there earlier. It's gone. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been a fantastic hour. And this replay is available right away. So if you missed anything, you could watch it whatever speed suits your interest. We covered CAD to OpenUSD workflows. Ashley has pretty much went through everything on how to get it done simply, and using OnShape is a great example because it's free to get something. So let us know if you have any questions in that Discord thread. Any final words from Ashley or Richard? This is your chance to impart with something you want people to never forget as long as they live. That's a lot of
I really missed being on the live streams, and I want to do more of them. I want to come back. I forget how good it feels to talk to community and see what everyone's doing.
Look at this comment. This is ditto. Look at this comment. And I don't know if this username is because Richard, you have forged this person. Is so in your teachings. Thank you, Ash, for all your previous videos and today's presentation. Thank you, Richard, for all the help on the Discord. Always available. Don't get tired of us and our dumb questions sometimes. That's true. Not that anyone has dumb questions, but yeah, Richard is very patient and becoming more patient you're becoming more wise. I noticed by
there are no dumb questions, right?
Yeah. And here we go. More requests for more Learn With Me sessions. So let us know what you want to see Ashley cover next. Obviously, her schedule is crazy. She has a great team she manages. But if there's something burning that you think Ashley should cover on the stream, we'll twist her arm a little bit. I'll talk to the higher ups. We'll get her back on here again. Let us know what that is. Just talk to us in that Discord thread we started earlier.
Yeah, we've even been doing some more polished videos and some YouTube shorts So if it's something we can cover in those, I'm happy to make a short about it and make it easy to digest for you. Like, I'm a big person. I love using YouTube Shorts. I love viewing them in my off time. So I find those really great piece of information. I mean, actually, the way that I learned to export from OnShape was a YouTube short that was only 30 seconds long. So like, that's the best way to ingest information, and happy to make more stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yep, looks like you have a fan here, and Lychee AI, of course. Thank you, Lychee. All right, awesome, everybody. Thank you so much for watching today. It's been an absolute pleasure, once again, working with my great colleagues here, Ashley and Richard. We will see you next time. Check out the event calendar for our upcoming streams. Until then, happy developing.